it's a great question. So the private markets have adopted co-living. Co-living is shared housing, not just here, but actually globally. There are co-living companies everywhere now. There's a reason it's growing. It's because it meets affordability needs and it meets community living needs. So what we forget sometimes is that people aren't just missing the physical structure. They're missing the feeling of home, the feeling of family, the feeling of community. So for a lot of people, you can give them a one-bedroom or studio apartment, but if you don't give them anything else, nobody else, it won't be effective. The private markets have realized that, and a lot of people are moving into co-living spaces. But those co-living spaces are developed with an eye toward design and with sort of foundational principles of humanity. You know, that everybody deserves their private space, and that it's only the shared facilities that are shared, right? There can be different levels. So some of these co-living facilities have shared showers and bathrooms. Some, the bedrooms themselves have just a bedroom and a shower, but then no kitchen, no living space, no nothing else. So what is shared and what is private can vary by location, by building, etc. And I think that the more flexibility that we allow ourselves, the better. And that's one of the biggest problems right now with top-down government housing, is that you have these set of regulations that you're trying to fit into every building the same way, right? But the thing with this solution is we're taking all these different kinds of buildings. So if we try to fit this sort of homogeneous set of regulations into all these buildings we're going to find, it will be so expensive, right? And really impossible. It will be impossible. We won't do it. So we have to recognize that we have to have nuance. We have to be able to take buildings as they are, right? And develop them based on what we find. Yeah, that has a higher level of particularity, but to be honest, that shouldn't be a problem given our what we're proposing as a solution. So for the people who question whether these are going to be nice facilities for people, I would say, come take a tour, because we've built out a model. You come see for yourself whether you think that this is a humane kind of shelter and living facility. If you disagree, let us know why. I feel really good about designing shelters the way that we're proposing to design them. In some ways empowering designers to design, right? Taking this sort of homogeneous, regulated housing and making it more local, more intentional, more funky, more creative, and then ultimately much more communal. So not only are you going to be sharing kind of these facilities, there's also going to be big shared collaborative space, community space, to be able to learn, to be able to read, to study, to dance. I mean, there can be all kinds of stuff happening in the bigger community spaces that will be really, really rich for the people living here, will add a whole lot more to their lives than just a shelter, right? And I think from there, they can also learn skills, to your point, to be able to get jobs. So we can have a really, really cool education program in these facilities that can be used not just by the people living in them, but by the community around them too, right? So you can look, anybody in the community could look at what's going on in the community space in these housing complexes and say, oh, you know what, I would love to learn how to weld. You know, that feels very valuable to me. I'm gonna go there. Great, it's public, it's open, it's shared. You wanna learn welding? Come on over. You'll be with other people in your community and you'll be with people who are living here. Great. That's just a more dynamic, rich community, right?
Right.
We're trying to build communities through housing. And some of these complexes are going to be youth focused. So people who have come out of difficult family situations, foster care, young people who have not been able to find work, there will be housing complexes specifically for the youth. And in those complexes, a lot of the community services and events and programs will be educational. And that way you can grow youth community, right? Young people can meet each other, and then they can think about ways to start businesses together, right? They can find friends, they can find creativity. So for them, I think this is going to be, I think for young people, this is going to be incredibly impactful. It will really be a bridge to a better future, I believe. Community. Like just think community. That is what we're trying to build. We're not just trying to build housing.